Hey everyone, the Game Piece here, and today I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to breed the perfect Temtem. So this guide is going to show you how exactly to breed a 6SV Temtem, which is going to be 6 perfect stats, and it's going to eliminate the need to get 7 SVs and have an useless stat. And what I mean by that is basically every Temtem is going to utilize either its attack or special attack, and you can choose one or the other to pass along, but typically a Temtem is not going to be a mixed attacker unless you choose to build it that way, in which case you can do it a different way. Now this method is perfect for breeders who don't want to be spending an astronomical amount of money. Breeding for a 7 SV Temtem is nice and it looks good to have a perfect Temtem, but it's completely unnecessary. Having a 6 SV Temtem is going to cost you 42,000 Pansuns in total, whereas having a 7 SV Temtem is going to cost you 60,000. So you're saving really around 20,000 Pansun by doing this method, and it's definitely more beneficial and one that I recommend going for. So let's get into how to start breeding. So if you have a Temtem that you come across that you want to breed and start getting into competitive, the first thing you're going to want to do if you're starting out fresh is farm for perfect SVs, and the best way to do this is to look up the location of that Temtem on the map or any spawn location map and see where it spawns with a high spawn chance, and this way you're going to be able to bring some Tems and go and capture a bunch of them. You will release the ones that do not have 50s on them, but you are going to be looking for a 50 SV in every single value, and also you have to make sure that the genders will match up. So for instance, you need a perfect defense, special defense, and to breed you need a male and female version, and for HP and stamina you need a perfect, and those need to match up as well. So you need a male and female stamina partner, and then you need 2 speed partners for the fertility passing on. And fertility is a mechanic that each Temtem starts with 8 fertility, and as you breed, the Temtem's offspring will take the lower amount of fertility, -1. And then you also will need a perfect attack or special attack partner depending on what kind of build you are choosing to do for your Temtem. So once you have all your perfect SV Temtem captured and you have the correct genders, I am recommending that you put them in a box solo dedicated to the breeding project that you're going to do. This just makes it a lot easier as far as navigating and pairing up breeding partners goes, because it does get a little bit messy. So in order to make sure that you pass on the necessary SV value traits, you're going to need to spend a bit of money. Now over here on this little stand here, this vendor sells gear that are DNA strands. Now these, if you attach to a Temtem with the corresponding perfect SV value, is going to pass on that SV value to its egg. So to start things off, we're going to be passing on the defense values. So grab your perfect defense and perfect special defense Temtem and come over to the vendor, and you will need to buy a hardening DNA and a dominant DNA. You will then attach the hardening DNA to your perfect defense Temtem, and then the dominant DNA to the special defense Temtem as a gear item. And then you will walk over to the daycare center representative and deposit your Temtem for a small fee of 50 Pansun, and it'll show you a summary of what stats the egg is going to pass along down to the child. And you can actually deposit 2 sets of Temtem parents and get 2 eggs going at the same time. So we're also going to get started on the second set of parents, and for that we're going to be breeding our perfect speed Temtem with our attacking Temtem. Now this is important to note: if you are using a special attacker Temtem, use this Temtem here, or if you're using an attacking Temtem, swap that one out here. It can be interchangeable. Like I said, you don't need attack or special attack depending on your build. So grab your Temtem, come on over to the vendor and grab a lithe DNA and an aggressive DNA, which is for attack. Otherwise, you are going to need to buy a gifted DNA if you're using special attack. Attach the DNA to the corresponding Temtem and turn them into the breeder and get the process rolling. Eventually 2 eggs will pop out, which will have to manually retrieve from the daycare center man, and you will have to take them out of your PC as they automatically get stored into your party or your box depending on how full your party is. So go ahead and grab your eggs, make sure you have your egg timer, and I have a separate guide for that if you need a guide on how to get your egg timer. But with the egg timer on, it'll show you exactly how much time you need for the eggs to hatch, and you will be able to just stand around in this breeding center and basically wait for the timer to count down to 0 and the eggs will hatch. The thing is though, the eggs will only count down and hatch if they are in your party. You can't just leave them with the daycare guy or in your PC and have them count down. They have to be in your party and you have to be online for them to hatch. So while you are waiting for those 2 eggs to hatch, you can actually start the process on the next 2 parents. So we're going to grab the perfect HP value and perfect stamina value Temtem, and then you're able to come over to the gear and buy a endurance DNA and then a vitality DNA. The vitality will go on the HP, endurance will go on the stamina Temtem, and you will deposit these and be able to get the perfect HP and stamina Temtem offspring. So then you can actually get the next set of parents going as well. Once you deposited the HP and stamina, you're going to need another set Temtem with the perfect speed value and a perfect attacking value, whether you're doing attack or special attack. So grab your second speed Temtem, and you can grab the attack or special attack Temtem that you used before, and you will be able to pair those up, and then you can breed another egg with the lift DNA attached and the aggressive or gifted DNA attached. So now I have 4 eggs that I'm going to wait to hatch here. You can see the timer counting down. I'm gonna wait for those all to hatch, and provided that I get the correct genders, we can move on to the next step. The most frustrating process that I've found here is getting the right female or male version of the egg that you need. Each Temtem has different male or female ratios, so that's the most frustrating part, is making sure that you get the right gender to match up with the right stat. Alright, so now that the Temtem with the perfect defense and special defense hatched, provided it has the right gender, you are going to need to breed that with your perfect speed Temtem now. So you're going to need to attach an immunity DNA to the defense and special defense Temtem, which will pass on both of the defense stats, and then you need to put on a lift DNA for the speed Temtem, which will pass on the 50 speed. And then as you can see now, we have our HP and stamina Temtem, another speed and attacking Temtem, and then also we had our defense and speed Temtem hatch with the perfect SVs on it as well. So now, provided that you got the correct genders, you can match up the perfect defense and speed Temtem with the perfect attack and speed Temtem, and you're going to need to put on the immunity DNA for the defense and aggressive DNA for the attack, and breeding these 2 together, because they both have that 50 speed value, that's going to pass on together. So you're really ensuring the defense values of the one Temtem and the attack value of the other, and then the other ones will be put together to make the 50. So this will give you your first 4 perfect SV value Temtem for the defense side. You are then going to be able to take the perfect HP and stamina Temtem that you bred and breed it with one of your speed Temtems. So that will be passing on the HP and stamina by attaching it with a vigor DNA, and then the speed by attaching it with a lift DNA. So that will give you your 3 SV Temtem, and then when that hatches, you can pair it up with the attacking and speed Temtem that you had hatched before, provided the genders match up. Then pair the HP and stamina with the vigor DNA, and then the attacking Temtem with either the aggressive or gifted DNA, depending on what attacking style you're going for. And breeding these 2 together will give you your second 4 SV Temtem with the HP and stamina side of things. So now, if you have both these sides of the 4 SV Temtem, you have to make sure that they match up in gender wise, which is the biggest, most frustrating thing if you get to the end of this chain and you have to breed for extras in order to get the right gender. But if you manage to luck out and get the right gender on the first try, you're going to have more fertility to use to breed offsprings in order to recoup your breeding costs that you used. So take the 2 4 SV Temtems and pair them together. The HP and stamina, you're going to need to buy the vigor DNA to pass on the HP and stamina from that one, and then for the defensive 4 SV Temtem, you're going to need to buy the immunity DNA to pass on the defenses. And because they both have perfect attacking values and perfect speed, those are both going to get equalized and both pass on the 50 values, leaving you with your perfect 6SV Temtem. Now, one thing to pay attention here too is at the end, you want to make sure that you have the right trait. So if you are breeding a specific Temtem for a certain ability, you're going to want to make sure that it matches up, the pre-evolution matches up with the right trait that is going to lead into the evolutions trait. So there you have it, everyone. That is a step-by-step video guide on how to breed your perfect 6SV Temtem. I know that this is a little confusing and a little complicated, but trust me when I say that this gets a lot easier after you do it a couple of times. It's a very expensive process and you have to be very patient, I would say, with making sure that you get the right stats and right genders that correspond with each other, but it is very rewarding in the end to see that 6SV Temtem, and it's going to be super beneficial for you to do this if you are looking to get into competitive play at all. I hope that this guide ended up helping you out, everyone. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know if you have any suggestions for any other guides as far as SVs go or anything like that. Make sure to like if the video helps you, and make sure to subscribe for more Temtem guides and content and more MMORPG content in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching and for the support, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.